Hey, Mr. Hubbard. Just wanted to make a quick video and show you a couple of pointers whenever you and your guitar tech disassemble this thing. This is what the rear module looks like when you pull out the screws. So there's a cover here, and when you pull the cover off, there's a little secondary cover, and you pull these 4 screws out, and that secondary cover holds this bearing in place, which keeps this shaft straight. Sometimes I've had some squeaking in the past, and it's because these 4 screws were down a little tight, and it was pressed against the outer rim of this bearing. So if you let up on these screws just a little bit, that might help. In order to get into the top module, what you want to do is take a flathead screwdriver, preferably a large one, not this, basically the opposite of what I have here, and you just want to stick it in right there, and this should pop right up. It's going to take a bit of force. If you have a big flathead screwdriver, you can just twist the screwdriver and this thing will pop up. Okay, so once you get the cover off there, you can see in here that there's a shaft, a fixed shaft, and then a bearing. And then this is your tuning block, and there's a piece of felt that's glued to the tuning block. And I don't know if you can see it, but there's a threaded rod, and the threaded rod goes from here to here, and the threaded rod is attached to this thumb wheel. And I'm thinking maybe some of what you're hearing is maybe I cut this threaded rod a little short, and you can see I'm able to wiggle this one. Honestly, man, every one I've made has been a little bit like that, and you're the first person that has had an issue with it. So maybe I may have cut your rod a little short, but I played that guitar for 8 minutes on that video before I sent it out, and I didn't really pick up on any of that. You could, if that's the issue that you're having if that's with this, then you can pull this module out by unscrewing this screw, and there's one underneath this arm right there, and there's another one right here, and another one right there. And you can pull those screws out and pull this module out, and you could probably put like a small spacer in there at the end of that threaded rod, like a piece of wood or something. Let me see if I can zoom in. I don't know if I can zoom in there. Yeah, see, you can see there's a little play in it, and it's hard to get these things absolutely perfect. I leave them kind of short because it makes it easier, because I've had people upset that they weren't able to easily turn the wheel, so I keep it loose now, and now I'm having issues with the other way. So it's constant one thing or another. The spring, you were getting some issues with the spring. Well, the spring fits between this nub and this nub on the arm, and it sounded like maybe the spring needed maybe twisted or turned, because the spring might be touching this. It shouldn't, though. The spring should have a pretty good arc between the two, if that makes any sense. Anyway, it's not for everybody. I built them, like you said, they're experimental, and I built them mainly for beginners. If you're experienced at Glacier or Forest Lee, I'm sure it's hard to put up with some of this stuff. But if you've never done it before, then it's worth the experience for most of us. But I could understand if it's not for you. You can always mail the guitar back to me. I imagine it would only cost you about $40 to ship it through USPS, and I'll refund your $500. I can't do that six weeks down the road, though. So if you're going to do that, then do that sooner than later. And also, if y'all have problems putting this back together, you can leave it apart, and you can send it to me, with the cover off, because sometimes it's hard to reinstall this cover, because everything has to line up perfect. And see, I'm having trouble with it even right now. Anyway, yeah, I don't want to waste any more of your time with it. If you don't like it, send it back. and no hard feelings, and it was cool talking with you. All right, thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Have a great day.